Hey, as promised, I was going to show the other elements that we discovered while we were doing the throughput test for the Microsoft Wireless Display Adapter. It's fairly simple once we discovered it, how to get in. You have to be connected to the device on your Windows device to detect it, but go ahead and get Wireshark if you haven't got it already. It's free. It's very useful, and it can tell you a lot of things. So we're going to go ahead and connect to the Microsoft Display Adapter shown here. You notice this secondary. So you see that Windows has created this virtual Wi-Fi connection here, or Wi-Fi NIC, I'm sorry, and prefaced it with direct, which denotes Wi-Fi direct, and then it negotiates some, for me, unfortunate name between my device name and the display adapter, but it is what it is. I don't think you can change it, but I'm not really sure that you want to because the device knows what it is and it's negotiation. So I'll just leave it alone for now. And you can see that there's some video traffic going up to the device from your Windows source device. And it gives you a couple of key pieces of information, what port it's using, and the IP of the device itself that's established on that network, and the IP of your machine that you started the feed from. So this is the source, and this is the destination. The source device being your laptop, and the destination being the wireless display adapter in this case. And those should be the only two IPs on that network. I say should be. While that's running, let me make sure it's still actually capturing. It is. I'm going to show you something. I had set a password on this previously of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put that in here for demonstration purposes, and we'll note that it unlocks it because you have to sign out and you can change stuff. You can change the name and all that good stuff. So if we stop the capture here, and we filter out our UDP, we see a whole bunch of other stuff going on here. And as you scroll down, you see some basic stuff. Then you start to see some things in the open, which is interesting. If you scroll down some more, you start to see things like this, which pique my interest, since it looks like some instructions are being passed in open HTTP. So that got me thinking, and we'll take a look here and filter down just to HTTP. And you notice some interesting things here, some different things getting passed, plus our password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that was set and passed in the clear. So not that this is too much of a security concern, because this network is WPA2, I believe, between your source device and your Microsoft Wireless Display Adapter. So you have layer 1 security, but you know, from the enterprise perspective, I wouldn't want to run this in a highly secure environment. But there might be some security relief, I guess you could say. So now that we have this passing with no issues, got curious. Let's take a look to see what that address pulls up. So that's 173, 152. 173, 152, and boom, you're in a dongle configuration that wasn't there before on your user settings. And you notice a few different things, and I'm not an expert on all these. I was kind of hoping that the internet could give me some answers here. But if you look at the source device, or the source code here, I'm sorry, this first drop-down list is incorrect. Let's see if we can pull up that source and show you what it's supposed to be. We scroll down here, here we go. So right here is what we're looking. So the first option, default, is good. I believe that WFD is correct. Then we get into some other things here. I don't know if selecting these actually gives you these options, or if they're just these temporary things that are listed here are meant to keep you from doing things you're not supposed to do. I did brick one of these things. Well, I say I didn't. I bricked, but really what happened is the device wasn't bricked, but rather I had no way of accessing it anymore. So it would show up on my HDMI input on my television or my monitor, but I couldn't get to it anyway. So I've looked this Waivu up. It's a proprietary thing from a specific chip maker. I don't know exactly what it does. They're not really descriptive on their website. Just a bunch of people looking happy and doing things with their devices. So I'm not really sure what it does. DLNA, I'm and P2P with DLNA, I'm not real familiar with, but I would dig into this if I was doing this a little further. And this other stuff here, which is some kind of mashing up of those modes, I'd be curious to know about. Of course, here's just some firmware upgrade possibilities. So, you know, if you talented folks out there could write something for this, you could put it there. External AP configurations only works in some modes. I assume that means DLNA modes. It would connect to an SSID that you already have. You have to put the key in here. Yeah, so that would be more like a Chromecast kind of thing, where you're connecting the Chromecast to the network and the device to the network also. And I'm wondering if you can't reference the device from anywhere in the network, or if you have to be in a specific place. But I'd be curious to know exactly what this does. I don't know what wide-eye legacy scanning is. I left this alone, and I have a older HP DV6 running Windows 7 that had an older version of Intel's wide-eye tech on there, and I got it to connect just fine. It didn't work through the 8.1 upgrade I gave it, but it worked through the software that was on Windows 7. Oh yeah, this here. So this will give you the ability to have a virtual push-button controller, which is much like on your Wi-Fi routers. When you push the button, it gives you a specific number to use to connect. It's in a way to securely establish a connection, as long as nobody else is in the room watching the code being displayed on the wall. Overscan, this is just the width adjustments you can make so that you don't have edges bleeding over on the sides of what you're displaying to. Resolution, I wouldn't mess with this if you don't know what it is. I don't see a need to change it. There's a whole bunch of options here, but unless you know exactly what device you're going to be using this on permanently, I wouldn't mess with it. I don't know what this is. I'm not spun up on that yet. It does look like this push button client list file here can give you some security as far as knowing who's allowed to connect to the device. So you could probably download the list once it was set up correctly. I've tried doing this. I don't think it gives me a file. Yeah, it just gives me an error. So I can know what format I need to put this in to upload it to, but I'm sure it's just some sort of either comma delineated file or a Excel kind of thing. So I'm hoping the internet out there, that's the last of what I can see here. I'm hoping the rest of the internet out there can do more with this. So it looks like this device is more capable of doing some other things that Microsoft hasn't really published yet. So I'm curious if the rest of you out there can show me what it does. I will say that I went up to the Microsoft store and replaced the unit that I had quote-unquote bricked. Again, it wasn't really bricked. I just couldn't access it. I was very honest with them and told them what I was doing, university student testing this device, and they were kind enough to replace it for me without any issues or complaints. So when I asked them about this, they said that there was just some more things coming for the dongle, and I shouldn't change the settings because it'll break or keep me from connecting to it. So again, if you find out anything, please put in the comments or post a secondary video and show me what you got. But thanks for listening. I hope this was interesting for you. If not, well, thanks for watching anyway. All right, have a good one.